Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SensTalk_ for live stream updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. Before we get tonight's video started, that series with the Capitals and Tampa was just fantastic. Congratulations to Ovi. They're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. And as well, congratulations to Vegas. What a remarkable run they've had this season. And they're going to the finals too, so it's going to be Vegas versus the Capitals. We're going to get to that in just a moment. First off, stay tuned in the upcoming days for a special live stream or video the next few days. I'm probably going to do a live stream with Urinating Tree again in the upcoming few days, so stay tuned for that. As well, I'm going to, since there's a month until the draft, more videos are going to be coming out about the draft, my who the Senators should take, etc. I know I've been very quiet the past 6-7 weeks. There's been certain reasons why I haven't been uploading as much as I should be, and I'm sorry for that, but I will be pumping out the videos more often than not, especially the way it used to be. There will be more videos in the upcoming month, so stay tuned for the live stream, stay tuned for more videos. As well, this Stanley Cup Final, the schedule was already released a few days ago. The first game is next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This one will be in, I believe the games are in Vegas to start it off. All the games during the Cup Final are 8 p.m. Eastern Time, that'd be 5 o'clock Pacific Time. So if you're going to set your schedule to go out or whatever, to watch the game, that's what you got to know. Now let's get into some statistics before we get into the finals matchup. The Caps advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1998. This is Ovi's first trip to the Stanley Cup Finals in his Hall of Fame career. As well, Bill McPhee, the general manager, George McPhee, the general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, was the general manager that drafted Alex Ovechkin. He's also the manager that traded Philip Forsberg for Martin Erat, but you know, it's a nice little story there. You know, Nate Schmidt and Bill McPhee versus the former Caps versus OV, etc. It's a nice two story here because both these teams fought for everything. Both these teams were underdogs going in this playoffs. No one thought Vegas was going to even make the playoffs. I predicted that Vegas would be a playoff bubble team. You know, like in the 80s something, maybe make the playoffs because I thought their team was better than people thought. But no one could have predicted them being this good. Same thing with the Capitals. When they were down 2-0 to the Blue Jackets, everyone said they were done and this and that. What do you know? They're here now. This matchup is going to be, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one of the better, this is one of the best storyline Stanley Cup Finals we've had. OV versus the new expansion team. This is going to be one of the most exciting Stanley Cup Finals. New teams going to win the Cup. This is going to be a great final. And for ratings, it's going to be off the charts. As well, Vegas had a 501 odds at the beginning of the season to win the Stanley Cup. They are now the favorites to win the Stanley Cup in the opening odds. As well, Vegas was 2-0 versus the Capitals this year. One of those games was a 26-save shutout from Marc-Andre Fleury. Let's get into who I think will win the Stanley Cup of the 2018 season, and as well, why. So this Stanley Cup Final is all going to be about goaltending. Marc-Andre Fleury going into this finals, if it wasn't for his spectacular goaltending, the Vegas Golden Knights would have allowed 17.5 more goals. That was an advanced stat I saw on Twitter a couple days ago. That is out of this world. Is one of the best ever in the National Hockey League in postseason. And without Fleury, the Vegas Golden Knights probably wouldn't be here. So Fleury's going to have to keep up his game. But Holtby, going into the Stanley Cup Finals, in the last two games, he posted his first two shutouts of the season against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is not an easy team to shut out. Definitely one of the top offenses of the National Hockey League. So this is going to be a goaltending matchup. Now, I don't know who to give it the favor to, because Holtby right now is on the hot streak, but Fleury's been going for like 6-7 weeks straight. So I think it's an even matchup. So goaltending is even in my opinion. If not, maybe a little bit of an edge to the Vegas Golden Knights, just because Fleury's been so hot as of late. But Braden Holtby, you know, he's going to keep up that stellar goaltending if they're going to beat the Vegas Golden Knights and win the Cup. It's all going to come down to goaltending, really, in my opinion. And I give the favorite to Marc-Andre Fleury. But don't be surprised if Holtby steals the show. Both these goalies have the capability. Both these goalies can do it, and one of these goalies will steal the show in the Stanley Cup Finals. As well, let's talk about another thing. Can the Caps keep up with the Vegas Golden Knights speed. The speed on the Vegas Golden Knights is out of this world. Carlson, Holla, Riley Smith is fast. Marchessault is a speedy little guy. David Perron's even fast. The Vegas Golden Knights are a speedy team. They use that to their advantage. Gerard Gallant uses that to their advantage. Will the Caps be able to keep up with their speed? The Caps play more of a rough and tough style of game, in my opinion, with some speed, of course. Kuznetsov and Burakovsky are very speedy, but I see when I watch their games, they play more of from what I've seen. I'm not a Caps fan, but from what I've seen, they like to play the body more. They play a mix of the two, while Vegas is more of speed first, hit second. So, can the Caps keep up with the speed? The Vegas Golden Knights have used it as a weapon the whole season, and it really comes down to that for the Caps as well, because speed is key to winning in the National Hockey League this season, and the Capitals are not a slow team per se, but the Vegas Golden Knights are just all around a fast team, and the Caps are going to want to stay in the series or win this cup. They're going to need to be able to keep up with the Vegas Golden Knights as well. Will Ovechkin continue to carry his team to victory? Night in and night out in the conference finals and in the second round versus the Penguins, Alex Ovechkin has been the second best player in the playoffs this postseason. First is Marc-Andre Fleury, without a doubt. But second is Ovechkin. He's willed his team to victory. He's played like the superstar he is. And, he scored the game winner in Game 7 for the go to the Cup Finals. And Ovi, if the Caps are going to have any chance in this, it's going to rely on Ovechkin keeping up his pace. You can look at Vegas too. It's the same situation with Vegas. Can Marchessault, can Holla, can Carlson, etc. keep up the same pace? It really depends on if these guys can keep it up on this torrid pace that's statistically impossible to keep up for a long period of time. So it's really going to come down to who can keep it up for the next 7 games if needed. As well, can Burakovsky, Backstrom, Ovi, and Kuznetsov show up every single night? Backstrom's already injured with a right hand injury, which is very important. No doubt he will play in the finals. Just without a doubt he will play through it. But he's not playing full strength. So Burakovsky and Ovi and Kuznetsov now have more added pressure on them. Meanwhile, the Vegas Golden Knights have only played 5 games, and they have more rest, and they don't have significant injuries whatsoever, and they have Tatar in the box if they need to call somebody down if somebody gets injured. So I'm not worried about the Vegas depth issue. I'm worried, if I'm a Caps fan, I'd be worried about, is Backstrom at least 80% okay, and are these 4 players, or 4 or 5 players, like Ovi, Ovi, Kuznetsov, and Burakovsky could be able to carry the load, and Oshie, carry the load that Backstrom is kind of setting back with that hand injury, because, Vegas likes to play a rough type of game as well. They have some rough players, Reeves, England, etc. They're going to go after Backstrom's right hand. So, God forbid something happens to him, which I hope they don't do that, but that's hockey, it might happen. Can Ovi, Kuznetsov, and Backstrom really carry the torch? We'll see. I think that's a point that not a lot of people are talking about. When you have an injured player like that that's so public about it, or it's very publicized about it, you got to be wary about what that other team is going to do to maximize and benefit from that injury. So that's something to look at, and I don't see too many people talking about that, but I think that's very important in this finals. Who has the better depth? Eller, Smith-Pelly, multiple other guys on the Capitals have been pretty good this playoff, surprisingly good this playoff. The Vegas Golden Knights, same thing. They got Ryan Reeves, who's been pretty good, surprisingly. And then the whole depth of the Vegas Golden Knights has been pretty good. They got this guy on waivers, Ryan Carpenter. Thomas Nosek, he's a chippy little guy. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals both have really good depth in the bottom end, which is very surprising because no one thought they would have good depth at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the year, they got some of the best depth in the league. So it always comes down to whose third and fourth line can play the big minutes. That's the way it is in the playoffs. That's the way it's going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it's going to be even. Both sides really play chippy chippy affair, and it's going to be great hockey to watch. With all this being said, I'd have to give the slight advantage to the Vegas Golden Knights, just because I think Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be just that little bit much better. I think Carlson, Riley Smith, Marshall Stowe, etc. are going to keep up the torch pace. And I think Backstrom, and with the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights, I think, are going to go after Backstrom, take advantage of that hand injury. Unfortunately, but that's the way hockey is sometimes. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are in their inaugural season from 501 odds to 100% winning it. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win the Stanley Cup in 7 games over the Washington Capitals. The Capitals, I could be totally wrong. I can see this is a coin flip. This series can go either way, but Vegas has won every time I've said they're going to lose. So theoretically, they're going to lose when I say they're going to win. But I'm telling you, this Vegas story just seems like something out of a movie theater, and it just seems fittingly if they finish it off hoisting the Stanley Cup. It'd be good for the city, but either way, I'm happy. I either get to see Vegas solidify a fan base there. Great story for the National Hockey League. It's a joke. We can laugh at the National Hockey League for an inaugural team winning it, but it's still great for the city and the players on the team. Or you can see Ovechkin win the Stanley Cup. So it's a win-win either way. I'm going to be cheering for Vegas just because I've been following them for a lot of the season, and I'm not a fan of them. I'm only a SENS fan, but it would be cool to see Vegas win, but I will not be disappointed whatsoever. I'll be cheering for Vegas. I'll be cheering for Ovechkin, because if Ovechkin scores, I'll be very happy for him, because Ovechkin, out of anyone in the league, really deserves the Stanley Cup. He's been just killing it his whole career, and this is the closest he might ever get, and hopefully he will take advantage of his opportunity. We're in for a great series, so thank you all for watching. Please comment below what you think will happen in the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals. I'll see you in a few days for the live streams, but besides that, let's wrap it up. So thank you all for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at SENStalk_ for live stream updates of the games and of course breaking news. As well, please check out our website, SENStalkCentral.com. We update that every single day. Please like us on Facebook with SENStalk. Add a search circle on Google Plus SENStalk. Click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Like this video, share this video wherever circle stuff, and over here, and here, I'm going to put most recent upload, playoff playlist. Please subscribe to us. We'll be over here, and probably off-season video or something like that. So stay tuned for that. Please click the links here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. I'll see you very soon for the live stream. Go Sens Go. Enjoy the 2018 Stanley Cup Playoffs Finals.